Hey guys, good morning. Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. Well, Auntie, here. Today we have to bring you the news about Mengao. A lot is happening here. 2 hours less. It's his time, but we're recording. He's checking out the little figures. Look at that. That's cool. And we're sharing a lot of information. It's Lazy Shrek. It's Shrek. Look at that. Auto. So a lot of things are happening, man. I'm going to start right away by reminding you that you can lose weight with Mais Cabelo. The Mais Slim program from Mais Cabelo is amazing. You can find Mais Cabelo all over Brazil, okay? You can look for it. There's always a Mais Cabelo clinic really close to you in any corner of this country. And look, we're also here to remind you that with Haroldo's Caravan, you can make sure to be present at all Flamengo games, whether it's in Rio de Janeiro, outside of Brazil, or outside of Rio, right? All over Brazil, you can get the full package. And in Rio de Janeiro, with a reception, you can make sure to be there with the ticket included. You're at Flamengo's Recopa Sudamericana games and people are complaining, really complaining a lot about the ticket prices, right, man? I'm also a guy who really fights for ticket prices to be fairer. Flamengo already has such a big revenue. Okay, guys, but man, it's these games like the Recopa and so on where Flamengo is thinking about making a bit more money, right, on match day, right? But still, I think it could, right? The North section has a slightly better price. Flamengo is also trying to set slightly cheaper prices, right? So, yeah, we even have BAP talking about Maracanã, also with the AIS daily. But the fans are pretty upset, right, with the ticket prices situation. It's expensive. There's no way we can't talk about it, right? We're going to talk about the ticket issue here with you, but we have to start our video, right? Otto talking about Vasco, right, man? Yesterday they lost again. They're already in the relegation zone, aren't they? I think Vasco is in the relegation zone. Vasco is in the zone. As soon as they turned on the Wi-Fi, they were already in the zone. That's it. They connected straight to the Wi-Fi, already connected right away. Oh man, Corinthians is at the bottom, right? But obviously there's only been one game, right? Corinthians only has one game. That's normal. Cruzeiro, man, they've played 3 games, so they're the real bottom team, Cruzeiro, right? They're the bottom, the blue bottom. Vasco with 3 games and 1 point. Santos with 2 games and 1 point. So we're seeing, right, Vasco in the relegation zone again, and man, there's no way we can't react to that. I just want to bring up this information about the tickets. The fans are complaining about the high prices for the Copa Sudamericana tickets. Yeah, look, the general public prices range from 3 to 300, right? The north and south section's full price is 1500 and the Americana Plus section is even more. Man, that's crazy, right, guys? That's crazy. It's a lot of money. It's a lot, okay? Yeah, look at the Flamengo fans talking here. Congratulations on another stab at the fans, another fan here. It's cheaper to go watch the Champions League than the decisive Flamengo game at Maracanã. Well, not really, but it's really expensive. These prices are absurd and a shame. It's a shame. Flamengo belongs to the people and the people are Flamengo. More respect, okay? So the fans, right? TNT Sports even brought this report with the fans complaining a lot. I think sometimes they go overboard when it's these decisive games like the South American Cup, right? The Super Cup is the same thing. For both teams, the guys, not just Flamengo, okay, are really going overboard. They're making the stadium more elitist, right? That's the truth. They're making the stadium more elitist. But look, just look. Let's check out Souza's statement here, man. Souza, the former Vasco player, posted on social media that he's already identified Vasco's problem. Vasco's problem, let's see here. Look, Vasco's problem is solved.
I'm here to talk about a very important subject we all just saw. Unfortunately, our dear Vasco lost another home game in an incredible way because there were more than 20 shots on goal against Chapecoense. Massa Sacre played a great game, but it ended as it did. I've wanted to say this for a while, but I've always been cautious discussing these things. But now it's just too blatant. Vasco urgently needs to do a spiritual cleansing in that stadium there, because I've personally heard from people who did it, and I won't expose them out of respect. Rituals there with animal blood.
God forbid.
They spilled blood.
God forbid.
They did countless rituals there, and from their point of view, they told me it was meant to do something good, but you can't spill animal blood.
There's no way the field.
Thinking the yearbook will be good doesn't work. Now,
The problem was Macon.
I truly believe that Vasco is paying the price today for many years of work that was done there. Now, believe me.
Wow, he put it all on Father Santana, man. What's the situation at Vasco now? Even Father Santana isn't with us anymore. Man, they're going to dig the guy up, bro. What's this, guys? They're saying that now Vasco is doing badly because of magic, right? So it's a curse, the curse of São Januário, right? That's crazy, man. Look how desperate things have gotten. Now the issue is the curse of São Januário. After all, look, those who have God in their hearts, who are evangelical, who are Jewish, it doesn't matter. Anyone who has God in their hearts, regardless of religion. These things don't affect us. No, guys, these things don't affect us. No, they don't. Me, for example, man, I usually say that even people who have pets, like cats and stuff, cats keep that away a lot, right? I really like cats because cats keep that away. Dogs too, right? But dogs, they don't keep it away. They take it on themselves, right? But anyway, animals, they help a lot, okay? They really help to bring positive energy to the house. Now, for those who believe in God, that stuff doesn't affect you, man. It really doesn't. Man, that's crazy. Those guys going for that, right? And Coutinho, yesterday he got booed when he left the field. Who would have thought, right? Wasn't the wall supposed to turn into a dance? It's crazy, Coutinho getting booed. Who could have expected that? No, no, no. Here, look. No, man. No, no, don't cry. No, it was Coutinho. It wasn't Flamengo. No, it wasn't Coutinho. Look over there. Look over there. Look over there. Look here. Look. Cut it, cut it. He's sleepy, he's sleepy. There you go. He's with mommy now. That's it. Who knows who's crying too, who isn't? He finally calmed down. Where's Deniz's darling? Where's the darling? Where is he, huh? Where's Deniz's darling? Where's Deniz's darling? Where's Deniz's darling? Where's Deniz's darling? Awesome, man. Shaolin reposted it here. Man, that's really good, my friends. That's it. Man, we saw Diniz, man. Diniz at the press conference, man. Before we talk about Flamengo, we have to joke around, right? There's no way, man. It's because Diniz, man, he got really upset with the journalist, right? Like, I don't know. I can't even understand your question. If you think I'm a diagnosis, honestly, I couldn't understand. No, this is old. This is old. Hold on. Diniz. I'll find this press conference here since I already reacted. He's upset. Look, here it is. See? It's yours.
From the Collar channel, in focus from the TMC group. You've already reached 52 games in charge of Vasco, and you've made it this far.
Is he okay?
The defeat is, and this has generated criticism from the fans like today's boos. Obviously, it's not just because of today's game, nor because of the Chapecoense match, where Vasco actually deserved better luck. But the results, they're not good. And I wanted to hear from you. How do you feel about this pressure? How is it? How do you feel, even regarding Vasco's own management?
What do they say to you? How is your work evaluated in that sense?
Thank you. Talking to Vicinho, like against Botafogo, we got the answer I gave you. When we want to bring up the numbers, it's convenient to put more pressure like you're doing.
He starts a fight at the press conference. I'm here to be under pressure anyway.
You know, the performance wasn't meant to have these numbers since last year.
It's just that we're lacking luck, right?
So that's how I'm going to keep going. I believe that the work, the numbers, they're going to change on the final scoreboard. It's going to change. That's what I expect from the board. I'm not going to talk to the board about anything, but I stand by what I do.
João Segura, you're secure, okay? Now he's going to tell the guy, you're winning.
That's okay. I'm here to answer and all's fine.
You're winning. It's all good.
The numbers, it's already the third or fourth time you've brought them up. So, okay, then everything's fine, but that's it. I'm already answering. It's all good.
But they're numbers and it's a large sample.
But it's okay. So everything's fine. It's all good. Everything's settled. You're winning today. Okay, you're winning today. You don't need to apologize. No, you're winning today. Celebrate.
You're winning. Celebrate. The guy even apologized to him. Man, he's a tough guy, huh? He's a tough guy. I saw a friend of mine there, Diab, saying, hey, bring him to Flamengo. It'll work out, Flamengo, for God's sake, man. Keep that away from here. Keep it away. Are you crazy, man, my brother? Let me tell you. Diniz, imagine Diniz at Flamengo, man. God forbid. Look, again, imagine him at Flamengo. God forbid, man. Imagine having to put up with a guy like that in a team meeting. A pain. A real pain to deal with, for God's sake. Seriously? Look, let me bring you some news about President Luis Eduardo Baptista, UBAP, so we can talk about the transfer market at the end, also related to that. The thing is, UBAP is going to receive the Tiradentes Medal, the highest honor from a Lerge in Rio de Janeiro. The Legislative Assembly of Rio de Janeiro approved the proposal this Wednesday, recognizing his role in the administrative and financial restructuring of the club. The author of the project, Congressman Alexandre Knoploch, highlighted the strengthening of management, the increase in revenue, and the professionalization of Flamengo. Okay? UBAP already has Libertadores, Brasileirão, and Carioca titles. UBAP has a series of titles, right? And is he going to receive this honor? And speaking of Luis Eduardo Baptista, UBAP, okay? He gave an interesting statement to Diario AIS. A new publication was made by Diario AIS with an interview with UBAP. That same controversial interview from yesterday, right? Which wasn't actually controversial, but he talked about Felipe Luis and so on. Here's what he said. There is no other reason for us to see European clubs going to the United States, looking for new fans in Asia, holding pre-seasons abroad, and opening new markets. It's like the exploration of the world in the 15th and 16th centuries. It's the same thing, except instead of using caravels to conquer the world overseas. They tried to do this by plane, flying to China with a soccer team. But in reality, it's about opening new markets for their product. In the same way we're doing this with Flamengo in Brazil, in South America, the results have been very positive. Of course, when you win, other sources of revenue grow even more. But even if Flamengo hadn't won the championship last year, their revenue would still have grown by 25%. In other words, even if Flamengo had lost everything, they still would have increased their revenue by 25%. We are creating a management model in which Flamengo's growth doesn't depend on sporting success. Therefore, we will continue to grow even if Flamengo doesn't win everything. But if we win everything, it will be great for the fans, like me, and for the club. Even if we don't win, we will still grow. Many business opportunities exist in football, even if they're not directly linked to the club. That's the concept of having a club like Disney, where you only sell dreams, sell entertainment, sell products. A home, that's all you can do. I think maybe suddenly setting better prices for the tickets. That's what Flamengo fans have been complaining about. Bringing up a situation here that has to do with BAP's decisions, which might have to go through an important decision by Flamengo, is a very bad situation. The crisis involving Banco Master started to directly impact the negotiations between Flamengo and Banco de Brasilia for the contract renewal, which is currently at 40 million and was heading towards 50 million per year. They invested 16.7 billion in master portfolios. They announced that they will allocate only 50 million to the sponsorship budget in 2026. In other words, from this total, about half, because Flamengo had already received it, a part would be used up by the agreement with Flamengo, while approximately 15 million correspond to compensation for services related to Banco Nação, Banco de Brasília, FLA. So, Flamengo receives 25 million, half of these sponsorship amounts, and the other 15 which are related to Banco Nação, Banco de Brasília, FLA. So, out of the 50 million they have allocated for sponsorships, Flamengo already takes 25, and then, for example, there are another 15. That is, if they renew, if the contract with Banco de Brasília stays at 50 million per year Flamengo. Out of the 50, they have to invest in sponsorships. Flamengo will already take 35, so they'll only have 15 left to invest in everything else. So, it's a complicated situation. This Banco Master situation is directly affecting Banco de Brasília. So, even though the bank shows interest in maintaining the partnership that started in 2020, it's facing liquidity limitations. it had to reduce by about 60% the funds allocated to sponsorships. Internally, Flamengo considers Banco de Brasilia a strategic partner. But it believes that, given the increased value of its brand, it would be able to seek a replacement in the market if the renewal doesn't move forward. Information from Pilhado Tiago Asmara. Here on the Pilhado portal, we also have some important information to share. That in the interview with the AIS Daily, the president commented on the construction of a new Flamengo stadium and highlighted the importance of Maracanã. Maracanã is mine for 19 years. I have 19 years to wait and see if I need to build a stadium or not. And there's still the possibility to renew for another 20 years, so we already have our own stadium for 2 decades because we have the concession for Maracanã. It's Flamengo's. We already have a stadium. This nonsense people say doesn't exist. Flamengo and Fluminense already have a stadium. Maracanã belongs to Flamengo and Fluminense, just like Engenhão belongs to Botafogo. The concession has also ended. That's it, until the contract is over. It's Flamengo's, it's Botafogo's, it's Fluminense's. São Januário belongs to Vasco. The business model changes, but it's Flamengo's. We're not going to give it up. Imagine now, if the new stadium doesn't have a business model that brings Flamengo much more money than Maracanã does today, without investing anything, why would I build it? Nowadays, Brazil, as a country, has one of the highest interest rates in the world. So if we decide to build a stadium for Flamengo, that stadium should cost more than 500 million euros. The interest on that would be 75 million euros per year. I would have to pay almost 2 Lucas Paquetás per year in interest. Why would I do that? Having Maracanã, I have land. But if someday interest rates in Brazil go back to being 2 or 3% per year like they were a few years ago during the pandemic, maybe it would make sense to build a stadium. Current rates. It's better to have money in the bank. Playing at Maracanã, which is giving us excellent results. We're making a lot of money at Maracanã and having the resources to sign Lucas Paquetá. If I build a stadium, without a doubt, all this structure I've created will be affected. Every choice involves giving something up. I agree with him. People talk about the dream of building a stadium. Flamengo has the land there, everything is guaranteed, they're buying time to build the stadium and so on. I hope the interest rates go down. Or do you want Flamengo without signing players, without competing? Flamengo is going strong in every transfer window. Oh, I have a stadium. Flamengo also has one for 20 plus 20 for Maracanã. So this statement from BAP will have an impact because the fans will say, hey, BAP is saying he won't build a stadium. No, he's not saying he won't build a stadium. He's saying he'll wait for the right moment to build a stadium. That he won't hurt Flamengo financially, that he won't, man. Look, if Flamengo keeps making these 2 billion a year in 5 or 10 years, Flamengo can just say, I'm going to build the stadium and it won't affect me at all. There's a lot of money left over. I'm going to build the stadium right now, taking out a loan, paying 15% interest. Flamengo won't do that. Flamengo won't do that. It's that simple, okay? So he makes it clear like this. If I decide to build the stadium, there definitely won't be Samuel Lino or Lucas Paquetá. But then people say at least, so there won't be Samuel Lino. I can even imagine the crowd's response. He'll get it right. He will. Let's cheer. It's going to work out. He's talking about the cost of signings, but I could have a new stadium. The goal is to make money. It's a financial and economic decision. I can't compromise the future of our team. To build a stadium, which is a 50-year project, we need to balance these variables, okay? So he's making it clear that Flamengo is very calm about the time it will take to build the stadium. And then obviously fans here are complaining. In the next election, let's support whoever prioritizes the stadium. Flamengo needs to keep growing and the stadium is a dream. Magnetica fans posted here, but there are people who agree with him. We'll only post the truth. I agree with BAP. I used to be against BAP, but today I understand when he speaks. Me too. CHT Pedro, he's right. If they build the stadium and spend all the money, Flamengo could end up like Corinthians or Atlético Mineiro. Exactly, man. Imagine being broke like that, right? It's Gabriel Ribeiro. Some people think he's afraid of building the stadium, but actually he's talking about interest rates, something nobody here understands. Brazil currently has high rates. That means any huge project that's financed turns into a snowball. It's not just expensive, exactly. This comment isn't just about paying for the stadium. It's about paying for the stadium plus a truckload of money, 2 stadiums, right? For the bank every year, have you ever stopped to think about just the amount of annual interest? Could you afford it? A high-level player, you could strengthen the squad every year, every single year. You could invest in the youth academy or improve club finances to earn interest instead of staying in debt. If the club is already financially strong, why get into debt now just to say you have a stadium? Management isn't about doing what the emotional fan wants to hear. Management is about choosing the right, perfect moment. Anyone who understands the basics of finance knows that taking on large debt with high interest rates is asking for trouble later. He's right. It might be unpopular, but it's rational. No, actually, it's not even unpopular. He's thinking about what's best for Flamengo. Man. Perfect comment. Guys, look, there's no one who wants what's best for Flamengo more than BAP right now. With that comment of his, man, he wants what's best for Flamengo, man, okay? Finally, we're enjoying and reaping the rewards. The work started a while ago. Why put Alex at risk exactly? Talking about it? What I want is to dominate in the opponent's stadiums, win every game, and have stars on the team, making the club even more valuable. Then comes the perfect stadium, the perfect guy. I'm going to make a clip of this video right now, post it on all the networks to say that I support it. The boss. Is Cruz official right? Man, that's financial management. That's fine, okay? But what about the money spent on the land? Is my friend going to build at some point? He doesn't say he won't at some point. Answering here, he doesn't say he won't. Period. So people here are saying that the stadium is needed. Leave it there. It's needed. They're going to build it at some point. Man, it can only be for the stadium, right? The land can't be used for anything else. It will have to be for the stadium. The land belongs to Flamengo, and it just keeps getting more valuable every year. You also have to see if there won't be a fine or something for taking too long, because there's a deadline to build. But Flamengo keeps getting extensions, keeps renewing the time, keeps buying time to build. Afterwards, I'm in favor of doing it at the right time. BAP is perfect. Really good points from BAP, huh? So, bringing you all this information about Mengão, there's Placar Aberto at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I invite you to join us on Placar Aberto to follow all the news from the Brazilian Championship round and also about Mengão, all right? A big hug, greetings, Black Joy. This is Flamengo, all right?